your thoughts and your energy is attracting what's possible for you. You embody such a sense of self-worth and self-love and inner knowing that it actually becomes clear whether this person has the capacity to meet you where you want to be met.
Well, hello, ThaiHa. Oh my goodness, you guys, she's here. Yay! First of all, thank you. Thank you for being here. I have been just ready and excited to have this conversation and take a deep dive on the work that you're doing and the deep healing that's happening
Mm-hmm.
and true transformations that you are helping people have. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty incredible. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for the listeners, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to read a little bio about our guest today so you know who we have on. And then we're going to have this conversation. But let me go ahead and let me read the bio first. All right. Is that cool? Okay,
Yep.
here we go. All right. I'm going to slow down. So here we go. I am so honored to welcome our guest today, ThaiHa Sloan. ThaiHa is a highly respected relationship coach, certified somatic healing mentor, breathwork facilitator, who has dedicated her work to helping people transform their inner landscapes so they can engage in deeply rooted, secure relationships. Born and raised in Hawaii, ThaiHa's personal journey led her through profound healing from body dysmorphia, eating disorders, to stepping into her inner freedom and connection. This, no, it's this lived experience that gives her such deep compassion and authority in guiding others. Through her signature RISE method, ThaiHa teaches her clients how to regulate their nervous system, repair relational patterns, and rewrite the story they tell themselves so they can not just survive and love, but truly thrive. In today's conversation, we're going to explore how we respond when things get hard in love, how we turn towards connection instead of away, and what it takes to choose real, lasting partnership, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. ThaiHa, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking about this because, when we talk about relationships and we talk about connection and really deep down, and I would say, the majority of us, we long for that. We really do. We long for real, deep, beautiful connections.
Mm-hmm.
And often we don't see. We don't see that, it's us. It's our perspective. It's us sometimes getting in the way. It's not our fault, but it really comes down to for us getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So when we reached out to you, we know that, that work that you're doing it's not the surface work. It's the deeper work. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually shift, the nervous system, really understand and regulate our triggers and get to a place that can put us in a position that it can be more empowering instead of so disempowering.
Totally.
How did you get into this world? Tell me about you. How did you start this? Because it is fascinating what you do.
Mm. Well, it's been a journey, that's for sure. I had no idea I would be here when I was leaving my mechanical engineering job back in 2018.
Oh,
But I knew that that was not right after 3 weeks of graduating college and being in the field. So I immediately started following what interested me more, which was serving people and fitness at the time. And I actually was going through some chronic pain, physical body pain. And that led me to learning about mindset, about embodiment, about corrective exercise. And I manifested a job that helped me move from Silicon Valley down to where I live now, which is San Diego, and completely transformed my life. And from then on, that was like one of my biggest initial spiritual awakenings of realizing I get to live a life that feels totally aligned for me. And I get to serve the world in a way that feels really, really good. And with that intention, I was just led to so many different things that kept helping me heal deeper and deeper and deeper parts of myself. Like you mentioned, the eating disorders and body dysmorphia challenges, and the challenges with self-love, and all of these mental, negative habits, all of these things I kept following, like, what's going to help me actually heal the root of these things? And so I was led to multiple different programs and mentorships, and ended up becoming a life coach. And as I'm learning all of these skills, I go through 3 breakups, 3 summers in a row. It was very hard, but the best thing that could have happened for me. And I got to implement everything that I was learning, the somatic work, the mindset work, and really become the embodiment of what I desired to, how I desired to feel and live. And through that, I manifested my partner, Justin. And when I met him, I was still kind of in this, like, I don't know who I am or exactly what I'm helping people with. It was more of like a broad helping them with their nervous system regulation. And then when I met Justin, I was like, oh, I've kind of figured this relationship thing out. At least it seems a lot easier to me than to a lot of people. So, what can I do to offer what I've learned to others? And that's where my methodology was birthed through, and what's led me to here today.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Thank you. I want to take you back. I want to take you back a little bit. You mentioned that you went through also a season. And I just want to let you know the majority of the women that listen to this podcast, they're very, growth mindset. They want change, they want love, and they might not have had the best luck, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And when you mention how at one time you found yourself, where you're going through this journey of healing and learning and discovery. And then you also found yourself, one summer, like you just mentioned, you know, relationships that just weren't working out. What happens here? Because that is so relatable. I talk to
Mm-hmm.
so many women, and often women are like, I don't know what's happening, and I'm a good person. Like, what is up? And I keep getting in these relationships, and they end up just being like, just all kinds, all kinds. What happens to us? Where is this coming from? What was a discovery that you started noticing when you were going through that yourself?
Yeah. Oof. I could
Oof.
talk about this for hours and hours.
Oh, I love it.
Um, so I think one of my greatest gifts has been being able to see patterns very
Okay.
clearly, and and learning how to take responsibility when I'm the common denominator of that pattern. So, there was a period of my life, especially when I was dating, where I kept attracting different kinds of relationships. It was either number one, they were super avoidant and not as into me as I was into them,
Okay.
or they were into me and safe and secure feeling, but like there was no chemistry or excitement or spark.
Yes.
And after the first 2 breakups, I basically started to learn about how I don't actually even know how this became so clear to me. It was just
Yeah.
like a felt knowing
Hmm.
of something within me,
Okay.
the deeper pains that I think this is what it was.
Okay.
Going through those breakups, I kept having to face the same wounds. And I had the similar pattern, which was super interesting, of after every breakup, 2.5 months later, I would meet a new guy and just kind of go head over heels with that person and forget about the other person and not really process any of that pain from the breakup. I would just band-aid myself with
Got it. Yep.
talking to somebody new, having conversations with somebody, and hanging out with them all the time, even if I didn't really like them that much, right? Doing the whole dating app thing and just be constantly dating and trying to soothe the discomfort that would come up in me from not having a secure relationship. And finally, I noticed that uh, the more I kept, because every time the relationship would end,
Okay.
I would be faced with that same feeling. It was like my entire life and world and sense of self was like attached to having a relationship, even just the idea of having a relationship. And then you put on, if I got really into somebody, like that person specifically.
Yep.
So when that went away, it was like, I have nothing. I am nothing. I am not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of anything. Nobody loves me. I'm always left behind. I'm going to be alone forever. Like all of those feelings.
Wow. Yes, that is so wow. You are speaking so many women's experience right now.
And that's super, like, it makes so much sense. And
Yes.
through uncovering the root cause of why this happens, it's just like it became an obvious map for,
Yeah.
through going through experiences, because what what became clear was the more I ran away from those feelings and tried to band-aid them, the worse they got every time, because I couldn't I couldn't keep what was, like, the relationship kept highlighting, or the lack of relationship if it left kept highlighting the feelings.
Got it.
So through my last breakup, when I finally had this understanding of like, ThaiHa, you cannot do this anymore. You cannot. I even had the opportunity, a new guy who I had like
You
sparks
did?
and
Okay.
things with, like 2.5 months later, of course, I had a dream. I reached out, like the whole thing started to happen again. And I was like, ThaiHa, I know you're in pain right now. I know this hurts like a mofo right now. Do
Yes.
not do this again, because we're going to end up in the same spot 1 year later, 5 years later. We got to go through it. So I told this person,
Wow.
I can't do this. And I sat with myself for a whole year. I only went on one date with one possible guy, but basically no dating. So I could just sit with myself through those fears.
Yes.
Because when we face the fears, when we go through what pain got stuck, because these fears are just stories and pain that our inner child did go through at one time in life.
Yes.
We
Yes.
did get abandoned in some way. For me, I had parents that lived on different islands in Hawaii, and I went back and forth between them every year. So there was a lot of change, losing my friends, losing a parent for extended periods of time. And that's when we're developing our initial attachment structures and bonds to help our nervous system feel safe, stable, and regulated. So that challenging experience for me, along with many other things that can happen for us when we're little, created these stories and these feelings of all those things I named. So to me, it was like, rather than continuing to reach to these relationships to soothe those feelings, which will never actually happen, I had to turn towards them, and I had to hold myself through them so that they could actually be transmuted and released, and they wouldn't have a hold on me anymore.
Wow.
So that's kind of what I teach my clients how to do is how to become who you've been searching for, so that that inner relationship, you never have to lose it because you got you forever. And when you got you come to life with a much different energy and therefore attract different experiences. It was the old self, the wounded self, that kept attracting experiences that reflected the wounds. When you heal that, you start attracting partners who do love you and do meet you and are available and all of that good stuff.
No, that's wow. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for that. I love how you just explained that to us.
Mm.
That was really, really good. I'm just telling you right now. I'm like, wow.
Thank you.
Okay, it was good because you put it in a way that is we can understand it.
Mm.
And this is what I want the listeners to know, ladies. The reason I bring on guests like ThaiHa is because they've walked, in our steps. It's just we're just a couple like 2 steps ahead. That's it. You know, we're all here searching for love and connection. And when you start hearing how things can really block us from that, and we can get into patterns, and how our nervous system, regardless, how our nervous system actually, when we're in certain relationships, even though they're not the relationships that are going to serve us, but our nervous system can actually feel some type of safety. It's weird.
Mhm. Yeah, right. It's exactly that, where it's like my familiar world
Yes.
was not feeling secure, was not having the stability, was all of those things. So that's what's familiar and that's what we'll attract until we choose to do that deeper work to shift it.
Do you feel, and I want to ask you this, something just came up. Do you feel that now that you've been doing this, is there some type of correlation also with um, when women in general, because I don't think there's a woman out there that hasn't also had to deal with some type of um, eating disorder, body dysmorphia in some type of form.
Yeah,
Do you think that is connected?
totally.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about
Totally. I
it.
really
Oh,
feel that.
that you. Oh, you just gave me goosebumps. Oh, goosies here, ladies. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I
Okay.
really feel that almost every problem we face
Okay.
stems from not feeling loved and not feeling worthy. So for me, there's a lot of ways that this developed. The
Okay.
stability is like a maybe even on top of that, right? Safety and stability as well. Controlling the food in the way that I did, it was like me grasping for safety and stability and love, control, because of how out of control it felt when I was young and I had to move so much. And all the love, right, always went away. All my friends, all my community, my one of my parents, like it was gone out of nowhere. I had those helpless feelings. So there was this grasping for control. And then when I was praised for the way that I had control, then I got the worth. And
Yes.
then when I saw these women in these magazines and I was comparing myself to them, I created the story of, oh, I'm getting loved because those women are loved. So, this security, the stability, the love, the worth that we crave with our addiction to relationships, like I was addicted and in that serial monogamy situation, it feels really similar. And that goes for anything, right?
Yeah.
Drugs, alcohol. I had issues with those things. Some people have a porn thing. Some people
Yeah.
have food. Some people have social media. Like it's all actually coming down.
Shopping. There's all, yes.
Shopping, right? It
Yeah.
all comes down to the same place of like we were never reflected and therefore had the ability to stabilize the inner worth, the inner love, the inner safety, which ideally we learn from our caretakers and our environment, which nobody's fault. Our parents always did their best. Lots of weird situations, like my family did their best. They were single parents. But at the same time, like, I'm here doing all this work for myself so that I do everything I can to create that kind of environment for my child so that they can have an easier time here.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's good. Wow. Okay. This is really making some sense here. Okay. It really is. I know this is fascinating. I know the listeners like, okay, keep going. Okay. It's so good, because what I love about this is it's starting to get some clarity here. I love this. I love this clarity because, again, the majority of our listeners are females and either single or in relationships. So they're in relationships that, they've been married for a while, and it's not necessarily the relationships are bad. Well, sometimes, they're in relationships and they come to the show because there as time goes by, there maybe is a disconnect, and they come to the show because they want to really learn how to enhance their relationship, and they really want to work on themselves, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean, and not put it on the partner. They want to learn more about themselves. And then I have the single ladies that are already overall high achieving when it comes to certain areas of their life, but they struggle. They
Mhm.
struggle. They keep having these patterns. And I don't even think this is why they come to the show too, because they don't even know that they're in patterns. They don't even
Right.
know that, right? Like, I'm sure there was a time, obviously, that you were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
start feeling like this is who we are.
Yeah. Or like you're never going to figure it out. You're never going to be able to cut the pattern because it keeps happening. But I will say that the women that usually find me are
Yes.
finally in this place of like, there's a deeper thing happening that I know is there. I'm the common denominator. I know it's there. I want to know that I've done everything in my power to shift this. And there's also like a relentless devotion and dedication because it's not easy work. It's not
Yes.
easy to take full responsibility for like what you're creating as your life and your relationships. So, the level of, like, I'm sure everyone here has that within them of like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to do my part. And that's really what brings fulfillment in life. Like, you release needing anything else to change when you know you've done your absolute best. And I think that's really beautiful.
That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful because you know how you hear often, and this is something we hear all the time. And I want you to talk about that. What's the work?
Mm. Well, my partner and I talk about this. And what's super important is that we all recognize that there's the me stuff, like all of my system and the baggage and the emotions and the trauma and the things that I've gone through that I've brought to this moment that are affecting this moment. And then there's the we stuff. And a
Okay.
lot of people like get that all mixed up, and it's all craziness from there. So, what I've found is the most easeful way to approach it, and we can talk about nuances here because there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of context. But ultimately, when you learn how to become who you need for yourself, everything else takes care of itself. So, for
Mm,
example,
mm.
if you're in a relationship and it feels like your partner's not meeting your needs,
Okay. This is good.
and I don't know, they're not, what's a good example? They're not meeting your emotions or holding you in love, in understanding and compassionate enough, right? You might get triggered. You might tell them to do something differently. They might get defensive, and then it's like we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
So what I do with my clients is this space, the we space, is like the triple overtime of the basketball game. It's like it's the perfect storm. It's where the universe has set it up in a most hilarious way where it's like it requires so much to really stay grounded and loving and open and understanding when we have all of these young parts of ourselves that have been needing attention
Yeah,
and all the things for so long.
for
That's
so
why
long.
we usually end up just most relationships, many relationships just blow up into these huge things. It's not based in truth, it's based in two inner children, in these people trying to get their needs met and not knowing how to meet each other because
There
they're
you go. Yep.
children.
Yep.
They're only focused on themselves. So how do we overcome this? Well, let's just take some space from this situation. Get some support somewhere else
Yeah.
so
I love
that your inner child can grow up, grow out of that contracted consciousness, that pain-based consciousness, and more into truth and love and understanding like a wise adult has, right? We know what the energy of a child is like, the way that they think compared to the way that an adult, grounded adult really thinks. Like there's so much more spaciousness,
Yes.
ability to see the other person and see the reality rather than from the stories of the inner child. So we bring what is needed to the person, let's say the woman.
Okay.
So like she's feeling like her partner's not meeting her needs.
Yes.
Okay, great. We actually separate from that. We see we actually take him out of the situation. We see she has a story and a felt experience that her emotions don't get met. And what we do as a coach, a mentor, and then within my communities, we hold her in that. We help her feel met, feel validated, feel seen, allow her emotions to flow,
To
allow the
flow.
words to flow,
Yes.
but
Yes.
in a grounded, safe space that can transmute it, which was what was needed when she was little that she never got. And that allows her to open her awareness out of that cloud of pain and then come back to the relationship from a much different vantage point. I mean, some of my clients have so many stories of when they move through these
Yeah.
processes, how they speak to their partner right after that and what response they get because they're speaking from such a different energy. It's truly remarkable. So many people are focused on like the we have to change things. We have to communicate better. We have to do this, but they're not understanding that there's these deeper needs that need to be met in each person's system that until they're met, it's going to be very hard to like climb out of that
Yes.
perspective.
That's the hamster wheel. That's it
Right.
right there. If you are not, oh, that was so good. Oof, oof, oof. I get so excited. I know, girl. I could talk about this all day. Okay. If we talk about the work, and the work is really getting down to the discovery of the needs that weren't met when we were a child and
Yep.
how that doesn't go away
Yep.
if we're not able to, like you just literally just said, work through that and
Yep.
give it all that awareness,
Yep.
give it all that love, and not needing that to have that validation from your man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. And I like that you're kind of speaking to that part because so many of us and so
Mhm.
many of my clients are like, we can only get our needs met. They're the only one that can fulfill it. But can you feel how that's the child consciousness?
That's
That's
it.
the
Yeah.
contracted consciousness where in reality, our human systems, our human nature is like tribe based. And we got cut off from that at some point through societal development, where we got isolated into these worlds of tiny, tiny families. And we're no longer leaning on multiple people from multiple directions and avenues that allows your system to feel held in so many ways that not all of it is reliant on your partner. When it's all reliant on your partner, there's so much pressure on
Yes.
both people that that's a lot of where challenges come from, because somebody cannot be your everything.
Right.
They gotta be their everything for themselves. Like they can't uh, attune to you every moment, nor should they. It's the child that demands perfection. So
Yes.
we can know that we get to grow a little bit when we're demanding perfection from our partner every single time.
For someone listening who is single or preparing for the love story ahead, what does repair look like
Mm,
before they're even in a committed relationship?
mm,
How can they build the habits now that will allow the kind of connection, we talk about, where both people equally want for it to work?
that's really good. I have a lot of women that have joined my programs right in the heat of the breakup
Okay.
or while being single, because they've been in those patterns for so long and they're ready to see what's been keeping them from maintaining a healthy
Yeah.
relationship. And there's a couple things that you can do. Number one is get support. You cannot heal. I don't believe you can heal these deep relational wounds, right? With our caretakers, with our environment, with our home, that happened when we were young. We were like downloading the information from the world back then. And we have these mammalian animal bodies that, like, there's something that happens when we're laying on our mama, or we're held and seen by our dad. Like, those are so much more than just spiritual or animal things. They're both,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I don't believe that we can do that or near as effectively heal those things without being in relationship.
Oh, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
This is not work that you do alone.
right. I could not be here without all the mentors and all of the support and all the communities that I've involved myself in. And I really got this through my last breakup, because I learned this practice, which I teach all my clients, called co regulation presence practice. And we just sit with each other and we are in presence. No words need to be said, as we just feel through and be seen in what we're feeling in the moment. And that saved me. I did that 3 times a day during the breakup, because my system was in such freak out and trigger that really, really helped me rewire to connection and support is here, even if I'm going through this pain. So that kind of thing is imperative, right? Having a mentor, a group community, again, strengthening that sense of tribe of people who don't just talk about this stuff, but can meet you in those deeper body based, belly based, like emotional connection places where you can be in silence and you can enjoy each other's presence and like really go to that deep place. I think that's so, so powerful, no matter if you're single or in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then another good thing to reflect on is, if you have trapped pain from your past relationships, like you think about a past relationship and your body clenches, or you get triggered,
Good.
or
Yeah.
you get sucked into this negative thought pattern, you know something's there
Yeah.
because it's poking something in you. So you can bring that, even if you're not in a relationship currently, you can choose to face what's still in there, maybe just locked away because you don't have to see that person anymore, to your support communities and work through those things. It's kind of like working with the backlog.
Yeah.
Um, so that when you come to the next relationship, you've done that work, you'll have a little more spaciousness, and then you'll face the next layers because every relationship is here for us to see the layers that we don't see. So I don't want to ever say that you will get into a relationship where you're perfectly not triggered. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about how do you handle it when the triggers come up? Do you use them to see what parts of you need more love? Do you use them to overcome these old stories that were never yours in the first place? Right? How do you use them for your growth instead of fighting them?
No, that's really good. That's really good. And I want you also right now, since you brought up triggers, so powerful. Can you explain to the community right now what is a trigger? Because you hear it all the time, right? What's
Mhm.
happening? What's happening when we're getting triggered?
Yeah. So the way I use that term is, let's say you're going throughout your life. This happened did it happen last night? Oh yeah. My partner and I were in the room,
Okay.
and my room has stayed the same. I've been here for 7 years, stayed the same format for that whole time, and we just rearranged everything last night. And I'm just uncomfortable because that was a sense of stability for me. And it's all changing and it's happening fast. And I know it seems subtle, but like
No,
I've
it's
become
good.
really aware of the subtle contractions in my system. And I say something of like, I would like that a little bit more over.
Okay.
And he was like, that wouldn't look good. And I just had all of these intense feelings, right? So
Wow,
I
what's
was
going on? Yeah, this is good.
right. I
Yeah.
was kind of fine. I was like present. I was more open. I was not in a contracted state. And then something happens and it literally feels like a poke. Like something gets poked and then my system contracts and protects itself.
Okay, that's
So
what's happening.
that might happen in many different ways. You might have a shutdown trigger where somebody says something and you retreat deep inside yourself. You might have a worthiness trigger where you're at work and your boss says something about somebody else's work and you immediately take that as you didn't do a good enough job because they said that about them. Like all of these things that take you away from your more present, more aware, more loving self and pull you into a negative way of thinking and feeling would be a trigger. So for me last night, it was like, he doesn't care about my feelings because he's
That's
saying
good.
that, or I'm inconsidered. Oh my god, that's a big one for us women and men
Okay.
too.
Okay.
So there's so many different ones, but anytime your body and your mind contract as a result to something that's happening in your life.
That's good. That's good. I noticed that too because I can be having a conversation with someone and the conversation can be just normal, right? Then all of a sudden, they'll start shifting. They might start saying something or talking a certain way. And immediately my body's like, "Ooh, I'm uncomfortable right now."
Mm,
And I know that is something,
yeah,
underneath or me just really feeling like, are they really being real with me? Or there's something, it's always like this, oh, I could feel it inside.
yeah,
I just and I almost just sometimes just want to defend myself, but I try to just kind of feel through that. Okay.
totally.
That's really good. Okay, I had
And
another question. Yeah, what did you
the defense is really important because
okay.
when you can have awareness of the defense. Like last night, I watched myself, and it
Okay.
doesn't happen often, but I watched myself say things in like the slightest sassy tone and things that just felt like it was coming out of me and I wasn't consciously choosing the words. How many of us does that happen to, right? Where
All of
the
us.
emotions take over and speak for us. So we just want to have awareness and love. Like that's the inner child that's trying to get their needs met. But the more we can breathe, the more we can practice being aware and meet our own energy, our own awareness, like you beautifully just spoke to within yourself, acknowledging that something's here right now, the more you're like pulling your energy back, you're pulling your power back and giving it to yourself rather than like trying to dump the emotions onto the other person.
That's good. So last night it was interesting because then you found yourself, okay, I'm getting triggered and I'm reacting a certain way. So you can see it, right? You're like, okay, that's the difference now because now you have this different clarity. Sometimes you guys, the more work that you do like this, that's the cool part because it'll happen. It's gonna still those triggers will happen, but you can recognize them differently and you can have a better awareness to kind of work through them. When
Totally.
you oh sorry about that. When you last night, okay, this is so good. Because you guys, that's what I was trying to say. This is the best. It's not like you do it one time, you know what I mean? And you're like, it's all done. No, you guys, this is it. Because like you change, you get a little older, there's other things start happening. But goodness gracious, ladies, what a beautiful tool she's teaching us right now.
Hmm.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So last night, I love it. I love it. So you get triggered and you're like, take a moment and you're like getting a little frustrated, irritated. This man don't love me. What is he thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a trigger. I love this. I love this because that's relatable. This is what
Yeah.
happens. I know we're trying to bring a little light to it, but this is really what's going on. Okay.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
actually am realizing like I
Tell me.
embodied the teachings that I offer last night. So it might be helpful for people to understand, okay, what did I do about it?
That's what I could. That's what I was gonna say. Girl, I
Yeah.
got you. So I was gonna say, okay, so we're gonna talk about it right now in real time.
Yeah.
So she felt it. She got reactive. Immediately, she started going there, thinking, "Oh, he don't like me. What's going on?" And then explain the rest to us.
Yeah. So something that I've noticed is like, I could go super nuanced here, but
It's okay.
as I'm recognizing the pain,
Yeah.
right? Because it's one thing to first recognize that you're in pain. The recognition, the awareness is like you have a tiny bit of space from it. Doesn't mean the feelings go away.
Okay.
Now I'm just like, shit, I feel this way. It doesn't feel good. But I'm like vacuuming around and I'm not even looking at him laying on the bed. And I'm just like in it and I'm letting myself be in it. And I'm okay with that because I
Okay.
have
Okay.
awareness. And I also know that when I'm ready, it will shift.
Okay.
And what I've found, and this is why the first step of the RISE method is to regulate, which is bring awareness to your body and let yourself feel what you're feeling. In that moment where I'm vacuuming, I have some protectors online. It's like kind of shut down, wall him out, whatever. And then I communicate with him a little bit because we have a lot of practice, but I ultimately just end up going to the bathroom and I sit on the chair and I know that I'm about to cry. And I've practiced my ability to let myself go to that inner child with my adult self awareness. So like
Oh,
my adult self goes to find my inner child and meet her as she cries, and I cry on the chair. And this is the craziest part. So many people get stuck in, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way?
okay.
Why do I
Okay.
feel this way? But when you get stuck in that, you're staying up here.
Okay.
And where the energy is trapped, why you're stuck in what you're feeling is down here in
Down.
your
Okay.
body.
Yeah.
So you got to actually let go of mentally understanding anything and just let yourself feel it.
I love that.
So as I'm crying on the chair, I'm just letting it all be processed. And then I realize all these insights come in of like, I'm grieving the last 7 years of my life where that my room has looked like that. And I've gone through all those 3 breakups in that bed. I've gone through all of these
Yes.
experiences, this huge spiritual awakening. Like, not only is my sense of stability getting shaken up, but I'm grieving and letting go of this old self. And so this deeper understanding always happens when you meet your inner child, or, it doesn't even have to be a young version of you. For me, this was like the past 7 years version of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And you get this understanding of yourself and the self connection when you allow yourself to go there with consciousness, with awareness. Again, my I wasn't going and looping in the story of the
Yes.
pain. I
Of that he
was,
doesn't care what's going on.
right,
Yeah, he
I
made
was
it
just,
about him. Yeah, he didn't
yeah,
make it
I
about
was
him.
feeling the pain in my body, knowing that it actually didn't have to do with him, because what was actually going on didn't really warrant me freaking out that much. So that's the self-validation that I've actually, like, validating the intensity of the experience in my own body without it needing to be about what's outside. And I could only learn how to do that for myself by receiving that validation and that unconditional love, and that being held by others so many times. I got so many reps of that where now I can hold myself and move through these deep triggers within myself on my own. So that's why earlier I said that's the best thing you can do, is get that support, get as many doses as you can, because that's what imprints a new way of being with yourself for your future.
Wow, girlfriend, let me just say something. Do you know, honestly, how oh, freeing that can be for so many of us women?
Oh my God, it's the most empowering thing. Like watching my clients go through this work and seeing their entire lives transform. Some of them have been in relationships and finally realized they can gratefully and with love let it go because it's not
Yes,
aligned. Other people have saved their relationships because
yes,
when they show up differently, their partner actually rises to meet them. I mean,
yes.
when everything comes back to you and the way you hold yourself and meet yourself, everything transforms. It's like, I always view it like a never ending upward spiral of love that you get to keep feeling, of the more you love yourself, the more others meet you there, and then so on and so forth. It's infinite.
It's infinite. And you know what I love? You know what I love? That you're talking, and what you talked about is really talking about that we are actually not stuck. We're not stuck, ladies. You know,
Nope.
because she just explained this is, I'm telling you, this is all of us. We're all going through all this stuff from the nervous system and our triggers and the beauty of all of this. And that's why we're having these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's why, you guys come and listen to experts, because they are helping us truly be able to have these tools to move forward, to not stay in these loops, to be able to have full what's the word I want to use? Like, we can take care of ourselves. Like, I'm not kidding
Yeah.
you, right? And
Yeah.
not having that depend on somebody else.
Yeah.
We can actually um work through this. Like, you just worked through that. That was so good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. She went
Mhm.
into the bathroom. She's like, okay, I gotta calm down here. I gotta figure this out. And I bet after, I mean, prior, you didn't do it things like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And now that you're able to have that tool and do that work, I mean, how did that feel for you when you actually kind of, last night, you know,
Yeah.
saw the
I
whole
mean,
thing?
yeah, this is how every day for Justin and I it goes. Like, we're always doing this, and that's what's so beautiful about
That's
when you
beautiful.
have this skill, is we notice the moment that there's
Oh
a
my God.
subtle contraction or a
Okay.
trigger, and we do our work, and then we have the trust within each other. And this comes back to the, like, second part of needing to, what you need to have a healthy relationship, is both people knowing how to do this for themselves, and then the communication skills to communicate and come together after that.
Yes.
So after that, I, like, came in and I'm still, like, in this vulnerable, almost
Yeah, yeah.
embarrassed state, but I'm just like, I found out what it is, and I have this willingness to, like, come back into connection with him, tell him what happened, trust that he can hold me and validate me as well. and also me understand his side more. And so we're always doing that, which allows, we never fight. Like literally, we never fight. We've never raised our voices at each other. We have little like tiffs, but it's
Yeah.
repaired in like 15 minutes typically, because we have these skills embodied within ourselves. So we can see like he's just another version of me. And because I know how to meet myself and I can trust he meet himself, I can also meet him when he's having a hard time, and he can meet me when I'm having a hard time. So that's where this energy of like divine union and sacred partnership, where it truly is the most co-nourishing, safe, special container for growth and love, like unwaveringly, becomes possible. And that's why I've been so passionate about sharing this work, because again, when you do that work for yourself, you lead the way for others to see how to do it for themselves. And you just naturally attract people who are doing it for themselves, or at least willing to learn and do as much of their part as they can. So it is truly the most empowering thing, because everything, we can't control the world outside of us, but we can control our inner state. And if that dictates what we experience in life, then we really take all of our power back and get the ball back in our court.
No, ThaiHa, really, honestly. Oh my goodness, I got to give you a hug. It's liberating.
Yeah.
It's freedom. Oh, I live for this stuff. I do. Because I wanted to create these conversations. I wanted to have these conversations because truly I want people to be able to understand, there's layers here and there's things that we can do, and this awareness and the work that you're doing and how it actually, look at what she just said, you guys, how she talked about how she's been going on this journey and this transformation, how back, she would have these relationships and she didn't understand quite what was happening. And they, what I mean? She didn't have the connection that she has now with her man.
Mhm.
And, and she was also, went through her own personal, eating disorders and stuff. And she already talked about how that is connected, this is life changing.
Yeah. And
Let
it
me, yeah,
feels
no.
it feels like, and what's super cool about it all is the way, or the map that I've like used to, it's kind of like it started happening naturally through me, and then the map that came through me to teach with is like
Yes,
reverse engineered. Um, but it's not just for relationships, it's for any challenge that you face in your life.
I
So
love
now
that.
I'm kind of embarking in this new territory of like helping people not only create healthy relationships, but fulfill their soul's purpose and show up in the world so that they can feel the most fulfilled as possible. Triggers exist every which way, every day, all the
Yes,
time,
that's,
in
yeah,
every area. So
yes.
when you can learn how to face this stuff head on and use it to your benefit, I mean, things just transmute, transform, you quantum leap like nobody's business. And it's truly what I think allows life to feel like magic.
Magic. Okay. Oh, you got me right here. Got another question. I'm telling you. Oh, we are just so in alignment right now. Okay, here we go. Um, I have two. I don't know which one I'm gonna. Okay, let me do this one because we're just talking about the work that you're doing, and then I have another one. Okay, Charlene, what did you write here? Okay, you've spoken about the 3-step rise method: regulate, repair, rewrite. Can you walk us through a moment when well, I think you just did, when you personally had to repair it in a relationship and how you used one of those steps to turn towards love instead of away? Or you could talk about it in the sense of a client too.
Yeah. So I'll just use that example from last night. So
Okay.
initially, life pokes us, right? The thing happens, I get triggered, and then I have these thoughts about my partner, about the situation, I have the emotion. So regulate is all about breathing, bringing your awareness out of past, future thinking, out of your thoughts, and bringing your awareness back into your body so you can connect with the energy that's actually driving everything. So that's what I did. Even if I'm still triggered, I'm doing stuff, I'm like bringing my awareness to my body, not just allowing it to run through my mind. Repair is all about getting the needs fulfilled that you didn't get. So in that moment, I have this feeling of like, I'm inconsidered, I'm he doesn't care, all of those things, right? Whatever story there is, it doesn't actually matter. Oftentimes, the only thing that we truly need is love, acceptance, and presence.
Okay.
So that's where because I could have asked him in the moment to give that to me, but I was just led to like, I can do this for myself right now, and that's actually what feels best. So I went to the bathroom and my loving awareness, my presence met the younger part of me that felt like she was alone in her experience. So that was the repair, was helping her feel seen, feel validated, feel felt, let her feel through what was happening. And that's what helps the emotion release and the love fill in those spots that were missing.
Oh, it's good.
And then the rewrite piece is about shifting from those negative stories that are based on past pain. So seeing my partner saying, I think it looks better this way, and me interpreting that as he doesn't care about my
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
want,
yeah.
or he doesn't consider me, and that happens all the time. So rewrite is all about shifting that. So when we move through the pain with regulate and repair, oftentimes what happens is you shift out of the pain story on your own and you see more of reality. So after I went through that process, I was like, okay, this is
Mhm.
not about him not considering me. This is not
Yeah.
about this. I just have a part that's um, been in pain and been sad, and he doesn't mean those things. Maybe he does love me. Yes, he does love me. I know this, right? So I rewrite to the more truthful or more desired thought patterns and stories rather than letting the negative stories run on autopilot. So that's how we move through the method.
Oh, that's beautiful because I'm telling you, ladies, 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 this has also to do with um, if women are, like you said, in situations that they feel, oh my goodness, this is as good as it gets. I keep attracting, like you said earlier, the same type of not fulfilling relationships and feeling so disempowered in these relationships and not getting that connection that they want.
Hmm.
This is the work too, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, exactly. So your thoughts and your
Yes.
energy is attracting what's possible for you. So if you've been in the pattern of 5 relationships and you always felt like they didn't care about you, what most people do is just stay in that story that nobody cares about me.
Okay.
It's your work to do to look within and follow this method or whatever works for you so you can rewrite that story and stop believing that thing that's not even true. It's just been something that's been created, and a reality, a world that you've crafted and built evidence for. So
Oh,
it
yes.
might take some effort
Yep.
and external reflection and support, but it is possible when you shift that story, when you rewrite over and over and over again, and you start believing, no, I am worthy. No, I do get to be met. No, everything I desire can come to me. Like you can imagine what you might attract from that place.
Oh, God, that's so beautiful. That's what I want everyone to hear. Because I also have women that will feel sometimes, and I love that you're saying it's really some programming. It's just it's not really the truth, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's the work. This is the work, you guys. Oh, so good.
So
Um,
something that they can do
yeah,
is
tell me.
look at this is something I used to do. Look
Okay.
at what was the common thought pattern or story or trigger that you felt through all of the past relationships, or even two of them, or whatever? Can you find the pattern? Because that's going to be your doorway in to exactly what's been keeping you stuck. Follow the thought pattern back to your body and then to your past, maybe your inner child, when the first time you ever had that story was about yourself, about life, about relationships, and then get with that young part of you. Get to know her, love her, meet her in her pain, help her know that she's not alone, and see what happens through that, because that is the root of what will help that story start to begin to unravel.
Oh, that's good. Because a couple things that I hear again often, the repeating things that I hear are those are the ones that I'm hearing. And then another one is that they can't get over someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, so they feel like that was the one.
Yeah. What I want to say about that is
Mhm.
they're projecting they're projecting what their inner child wants from them to the outside.
Ooh.
So it's like the
Wow.
more you are attached to the one being that person, the more your inner child is like, I'm waiting for you. You're
Mm,
the one I'm waiting for. Please look at me. Please turn inward. Please be me so we can be the one for ourselves.
that's the work.
Yeah.
So the one is themselves. So it's not necessarily that one. It's
That's
the
what
inner
it feels
child.
like for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's what it feels like.
when you find home within yourself, everything becomes a complement, not a necessity. And when something is ready to leave your life, you can let it go with love. Not to say it's not going to be painful, but you got you forever. And that's what matters most.
And I truly believe with all my heart that, love is so beautiful and you can fall in love more than once.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
I believe that. I believe that if you can fall in love more than once.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I always tell women. I said, yeah, listen, listen, listen. You can fall in love more than once. And you can fall in love even if you're older, like there's no, it's not like, oh, you can only have love at this amount, this time and age.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and you can actually have love, and maybe that person honestly is not here anymore, and I've seen people fall in love again. Doesn't take away from that. It's just a new love, a new relationship.
Yeah.
That's what's possible. And what's possible, you can have this loving and kind and healthy relationship that ThaiHa has now with her man, and she's thriving. No, no, there's no perfect relationship, ladies. Come on. But there's relationships that we can come together and we can have that healthy love, that
Yeah.
connection, that what, have those opportunities when we're together. Like she was explaining how it takes two people and we help each other also, grow and heal. And we do that work before. And I'm going to ask her another question because I cannot believe the time. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh, wow. Here's another one. Then I'm going to, okay. Many people say that they want love that lasts. Yet when things get hard, they pull back. What are the most common relational hard moments you see in your work? And what are the micro shifts that help a couple turn towards each other instead of drift apart?
Number one, do your part. I've had many experiences of people wanting to not face their own triggers and their own wounds and their own part and leave the relationship because the relationship is highlighting too much of their stuff.
Oh, wow.
Rather just like leave and be in avoidance.
Okay.
but then that same thing will happen in the next relationship. So um, that's number one. And then sometimes the relationship's not aligned, and you don't learn that until you experiment and you realize what's your values, what's their values, what's most important to both of you. And there's nothing wrong if it doesn't align. But usually, if there's a willingness on both sides, like there's a difference between values aligning and like what you want aligning, and then the triggers and meeting your parts and meeting everything and working through stuff. So it is really important that the values are aligned, or else you're going to be blaming each other for being unhappy when you don't want the same thing.
Yep.
And then also, if you do want the same thing, but then there's just wounds and triggers in the way, the willingness. Because I see a lot of women with men who don't quite have the willingness to look at themselves. But what's often also the case is like the woman is still not fully looking at themselves.
Okay,
Because
that's good.
when you do, you embody such a sense of self-worth and self-love and inner knowing that it actually becomes clear whether this person has the capacity to meet you where you want to be met. And it doesn't feel like this wishy-washy thing anymore.
Wishy-washy. That's
Yeah.
good.
So it's actually quite simple, is what I want to say, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
How do we get in your world? Oh my goodness. We need you. No, we need you. Honestly, we need you because we have so many amazing women,
Mm,
and they they are open, man. They're like, okay, ladies, I'm
yeah,
ready. I'm ready. I'm listening to these podcasts. I'm here because I'm ready for change. I'm
yeah.
ready for transformation. I'm gonna get teared up. I'm gonna get teared up because I'm so I just want people to understand that they're not
Mhm.
stuck and they can work with people like you. Oh my goodness. Okay, how do we get in your world?
So the best place to find me is Instagram at ThaiHa Sloan. That's ThaiHa Sloan. I've also just started a YouTube channel, so I'm going to be posting a lot of content and practices and meditations there. You can find me at the same name. And you can email me at taiha@rise-method.com or DM me on Instagram if you want to learn about ways to work together. I'm kind of in this reorganization again with what exactly I'm offering. So that would be the best way to learn about what that would be.
Oh, fantastic, you guys. I'm telling you, she has amazing content. She's the real deal. She's such a beautiful human. I'm not, I mean, in every way, in every way.
Oh,
And I don't know about you, but man, that was pretty amazing.
I love this conversation. Thank you
I
so much for
love this
having me.
conversation. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your authenticity and your heart.
Mm,
You were honestly meant to do this work.
thank you. It feels true.
Thank you. And to next time, cheers to great love. If you're loving this podcast and these incredible conversations, please hit the subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Don't miss an episode because each week I'll be bringing on guests and experts who will share their knowledge about love, dating, and relationships so you can apply it into your own life. I'll see you next week. And until then, cheers to great love.